also taken a decision to assist boarding parents with rebates on boarding fees for the time that the girls were not able to be in boarding. This rebate on boarding fees would not have been possible had it not been for the prudent budgeting of our business manager, Mrs. Naomi Hardman. The board extends its gratitude to Mrs. Hardman and Mr. Rickett for ensuring that the school remains in a healthy financial position. During these difficult times, support from our parents has remained steadfast. We never underestimate the huge sacrifices that you make in order to be able to send your daughters to be educated at St. John's. Many of you have endured economic hardship of late, and your continued support for the school humbles us. It is never taken for granted, and we are honored that you have chosen to become members of our wonderful community. Your unshakable confidence and faith in our ethos, values, and sense of purpose is greatly appreciated. Throughout the previous year, following the global Black Lives Matter movement, there were numerous posts on social media highlighting issues of racism in independent schools. Our school has engaged with journey managers Mrs. Nozipo and Mr. Rory Sangshabalala to assist us in ensuring that each girl at our school feels a sense of belonging and inclusivity. An in-depth survey was conducted, and we are currently in the process of unpacking the findings. We as a board pledge our full support to this cause and will continue to support the school in all its endeavors. I would like to mention and thank the Parents Association and the Old Girls Association for their donations towards the various projects in the school. Your generosity enables us to enrich the lives of our current pupils in so many different ways, and the board thanks you for this. Our Development and Planning Committee has been very busy throughout this year and can be commended on the completion of several projects, some of which include the following: the building of the new classrooms, reception area, and the new entrance was completed in January of this year. Renovations were done in the boarding establishment, whilst lockers for the senior school were also installed in the breezeway. The grade 6 classrooms and the staff room renovations were completed in February of this year. The chairs in this theatre were reupholstered, and the hockey field was reorientated, and the car park at Harwin Road entrance was also extended. Security fencing around the new building was also completed. The following projects are still to be completed in 2021, and some to be deferred to 2022, some of which include the new boundary walls for New England Road, which are currently being erected, remarking off and repairs to the tennis courts, junior school classroom refurbishments, the extension of boarding facilities, including modifications and/or the expansion of the dining room, girls' waiting area in the Harwin Road car park, the boarding establishment outer ring water feed and backup water supplies being attended to, LED lighting is being done for the indoor center, new sports office, and the possible extension of the gym, as well as a new reception for the junior school. It certainly does seem like Mr. Chandler, chair of the Development and Planning Committee, has enough to keep him busy for some time. We are indebted to him for his ingenious planning, his expertise, and commitment to the school. Ladies and gentlemen, all that is left for me to do on behalf of board is to congratulate you, matrics of 2021, and to wish you well in your final examination. You girls have overcome and you have conquered. You will not forget this moment in history, as it will be the year in which you excelled during a pandemic. This experience will build the muscle that you need to dust yourselves off and keep moving forward. Use it to be determined, to be persistent, and unstoppable in designing the future of your dreams. No matter where your journey might have started, you have made it to this day. I want to acknowledge each and every one of you, the accomplished, the creative, the talented, and all-round outstanding women that you are. I wish you the very best for the next year and leave you with J.K. Rowling's quote, but with a slight difference. You girls do not need magic to change the world. You carry all the power that you need inside yourselves already, and you certainly have the power to imagine better. Good luck for the exams, and know that your St. John's family are rooting for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Khan, for those well-prepared and thought-out words. They're really appreciated. I was scanning a bit earlier with my glasses. If you were wondering why, I'm trying to figure out where all the naughty dads are, and I know where you guys are. Thanks so much, in all seriousness, for attending today, matric parents. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces. Guest of honor, Mrs. Hanima Mabolo, Chair Lady of the Board, Mrs. Debbie Khan, Board and management members present, matric girls and parents, welcome to our 2021 Speech Day. A special welcome to those who are joining us via live streaming. I think they may be recording it. There was a little glitch, but either way, welcome when you watch this in your homes. I'm delighted to be able to hold today's Speech Day in person for the grade 12s and parents, as well as for the fact that it's in the evening after today's weather. Welcome also to grade 11s. It's wonderful to have you here, as well as some staff and board members. Having a daughter here at St. John's reminds me of the story of a boy who approached a girl at school, telling her that the principal was an idiot. "Do you know who I am?" asked the little girl. "No," said the boy. "I'm the principal's daughter," she gloated. After a pause, the little boy asked, "Do you know who I am?" "No," said the girl. "Thank goodness," said the boy, and quickly ran away. I hope that my daughters have never been placed in that position. Indira Gandhi, the first and only female Prime Minister of India, once said, "There are two kinds of people, those who do the work and those who take the credit. Try to be in the first group. There is less competition there." At formal occasions such as this, we tend to focus on achievements and results. But the reality is none of these would be possible without the necessary sacrifices involved. My encouraging theme today is therefore on character development, such an important topic for the youth of today to understand and embed in their lives in a world of shortcuts and compromise. If I titled my message, it could be Passing Through Fire. I've often been told by people, especially this year, how much they would hate my job, given the current serious challenges facing schools. Yet I see it completely differently. I truly love my job and wouldn't change it because of the challenges rather than in spite of them. We have at our disposal incredible resources and people in a school filled with future leaders, innovators, and champions in the making. All that is needed is a well-timed dose of fire or a difficult task or problem in order to develop character and resilience, allowing girls to then realize their true potential and significance in life. Just as a cake can only be complete by spending time in an oven, we should embrace and celebrate challenges as opportunities for growth. If you want proof that refining character is more valuable than lots of money, let's see how some past lottery winners coped with their major winnings. British couple Roger and Lara Griffiths won $3 million, which they squandered on designer goods, and he pursued a rock career. But soon they lost all their money to bad investments, as well as their dream home, which burnt down in a freak fire. Another happily married couple of 25 years, Thomas and Denise Rossi, ended up divorced and broke when she won $1.3 million without telling him, and their marriage ended in a string of court appearances. It took Billy Bob Harrell Jr. 20 months to lose the $31 million that he won in the Texas lottery. He quit his job at the Home Depot, and soon as spending got out of control, people started to harass him for money. After he separated from his wife and son, found him dead from suicide. A love of cocaine and call girls cost Michael Carroll everything after he blew $14 million on winnings on the high life. And finally, the story of Abraham Shakespeare is truly tragic. The Florida man won $30 million. He invited strangers to live in his home, including Doris Moore, interestingly. After befriending her, he disappeared and was eventually found murdered and buried in her boyfriend's yard. Those are true stories. My point is not that money corrupts people. It is more that true happiness and joy come from some intentional sacrifice and hard work, which gives meaning and purpose to the resulting success, due to the change in the person during this process, rather than the achievement or reward itself. In the book of James, Paul writes, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." What if I put it to you that our collective successes and achievements as individuals or as a school, which we celebrate today, are as the result of the necessary trials and challenges, and not in spite of them? Whether planned or not, these obstacles motivate, challenge, and actually strengthen us. Former American President Theodore Roosevelt famously stated over a century ago, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming." He emphasized the importance of having the courage to take a chance and do something and risk failure, rather than be the critic who sits back and complains. He's also quoted as saying, "Nothing in this world is worth having or worth doing unless it means effort, pain, and difficulty." This may sound a bit radical, but there's a lesson in it for us all. One of our estate staff members, Mr. Mzwaka Kanyile, recently won the Carkloof 100-mile race for the successive year. Following this outstanding achievement, Mr. Kanyile honored his father for the time that he spent working with him and for teaching him the skills that he uses in his job today. He recently was quoted as saying, "I enjoy working in the gardens of St. John's DSG because I enjoy creating beautiful things." He, along with his supervisor, Mr. Mdu Zondi, who have transformed our gardens in recent years, and also share their skill and passion for long-distance running, have taught us important lessons in life. These lessons from these gentlemen include the following, which I encourage you girls to think about: to love what you do or do what you love, to work hard to achieve your goals, and to hone or develop your natural skills. Consider this: how realistic is it for our children to achieve real success when every app, device, and comfort is designed to make life easy and free of difficulty? Do we, teachers and parents, inhibit the development of skills and character by overprotecting our children too often? We need to assess questions such as this regularly for the benefit of us all. Talking of hard work and exercise, I've often wondered why people who go to the gym compete for the closest parking bays to the door. Aren't they going there for exercise? Shouldn't they park in the furthest bays to get more exercise? Is it perhaps that our modern default is to take the easy route? In his book, 12 Rules for Life, Jordan B. Peterson states, "The successful among us delay gratification. The successful among us bargain with the future." He points out that a defining moment in human history was with the realization that something better might be attained in the future by giving up something of value in the present. Where would we be without the hard work of previous generations? Onto the topic of our achievements and plans. I would like to briefly mention a few of these in order to encourage and motivate us as we look ahead. Our academic performances, as Mrs. Khan has said, continue to follow another outstanding set of matric results at the end of last year. All girls who wrote achieved bachelor degree passes once again, and a total of 76% of all matric girls last year achieved A or B aggregates, surpassing previous records. These results were amongst the best ever in our school, with 3 girls achieving an amazing A symbols, 8 A symbols, and are testament to the hard work, attitude, and ability of the girls and teachers. We will be making further changes next year with the introduction of personal electronic devices into class for grade 8s and 9s. This will allow us to add new methodologies and approaches into our teaching without compromising the important connection between teachers and students. These changes will focus on stimulating curiosity, creativity, and a greater sense of appropriate responsibility from girls. Mrs. Lisa Ackerman, who has IT expertise as well as a master's degree in curriculum development, is successfully overseeing this process, which has already been very well received by all involved. We will also offer more computer lessons in order to prepare girls for their futures, and are introducing engineering and graphic design as a new subject into grade 10 next year. I have also nearly completed a management restructuring process. With the support from board, as we look to improving performance in key areas and align current managers to their particular areas of interest and expertise. I will be appointing some new managers into new roles in 2022 and will be announcing these soon. These roles will spread the load, especially as we separate the academic and pastoral duties across the school. I'm most grateful to board for your support as we look at other ways to differentiate the school in the years ahead. Some of these have been mentioned by Mrs. Khan, but again, to stimulate interest, we are looking at different learning platforms in the junior school, as well as possible new music facilities in the future and music production options. the further reintroduction and increase of facilitated conversations for girls and staff to develop a greater sense of inclusivity and belonging. Further developments and boarding, boundary walls, to improve security, as well as to cater for the increased number of girls in the school and the boarding house. These all point to a school which is thriving and in good health, despite the current economic climate. And for this, I'm most grateful to all staff, girls, and parents. Excuse my dry throat. Despite the very real current local and global challenges, it is my commitment to the community to provide girls with a world-class education with outstanding facilities while we continue to nurture individual potential in girls. We will not compromise on this in our oasis of excellence and care, rather than focusing on a sometimes depressing local environment. As stated in the book of Jeremiah, "But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought and never fails to bear fruit." We have been proactive in further strengthening our relationship with other local schools, in particular, recently St. Charles College. We have committed to ensuring that our area is kept clean, well maintained, and developed, especially using our newly formed Love PMB entity, which also includes Epworth School. We will work with these partners, as well as Maritzburg College, who we have recently met with, and others, as we strive to ensure that we are seen to be a city of choice, certainly from an educational perspective, as well as caring for our city and its people in other ways. I wish to thank the Parents Association, led by Chair Lady Ms. Zinath Hussain, for her support and fundraising initiatives for the school, especially tonight, as some parents are leaving the PA for the last time, or they have served this year for the last time. Thank you also to new Chair Lady of the Old Girls Association, Mrs. Lucy Cooley, who will be more involved next year, especially relating to Old Girl functions during our 125th celebrations. I also thank our mothers who pray, led by Mrs. Dawn Smith, and also to all who helped with flower arrangements on display this evening, as well as at the valedictory service yesterday. Can we give those people all a round of applause? I'm most grateful to our board chair lady, Mrs. Debbie Khan. Thank you for your continuous encouragement and support of me and the school whenever asked to. To Vice Chair, Mr. Reg Zammit, thank you for your ongoing dedication and passion for the school and for keeping us on the right path. To the chairs of the various subcommittees, Mr. Johan Rickett, Professor Vaughan John, and Mr. Anthony Chantler, I also thank you for your wise support and expertise during this challenging year. And I thank all other board members for your time given to the school and for your support of us. I would also like to thank my dedicated management team. In particular, thank you to Junior School Headmistress, Ms. Petra Vega, for your loyalty and hard work. The Senior School Deputy Head, Mr. Dean Tyson, for your support and diligence. And to Business Manager, Mrs. Naomi Hardman, for your vision and enthusiasm in your role. As well as to Ms. Tracy Schwegman, who completes the senior management team, for your ongoing hours and dedication. Thank you also to HODs, Mrs. Kim Storm, Mrs. Robin Kirsten, and Mrs. Ansuya Ragbau for your many additional hours and commitment and service to the school. To my PA, Mrs. Jenny Westwood, for your constant support and loyalty, usually behind the scenes. And today I especially thank and honor my wife, Nikki, who's attending both as my wife and also as a matric mother today. Thank you for your love and support. I would like to acknowledge some staff who have achieved significant milestones in their years of service to the school this year. Congratulations to Mr. Big Boy Mkize, Ms. Pinky Msomi, and Mrs. Belinda Kidd for their 20 years of service achieved. And this year, Mr. Sifiso Maduna has achieved a wonderful 25 years of service to the school. And not to be outdone, Ms. Chantal Beatty completed her 30th year of service to the school this year. Please can we give them all a round of applause. The following staff members left us this year or are leaving us at the end of this year. Ms. Nokalunga Bengu, our school secretary, has recently been medically boarded. Mr. Joe Mkize, one of our chefs, retired this year. And Mr. Sheriff Moses, our painting supervisor, also retired earlier this year. Ms. Erica Russ left us not too long ago to get married and relocate to Durban. Mrs. Sarah O'Connell, our school psychologist, left us in order to start her own practice. And Mrs. Meg Meading is moving to take up a post at St. Anne's next year. During the course of this year, Mrs. Michelle Barnsley joined our English department. She's currently on maternity leave. Ms. Natalia Steves started as English and history teacher and hockey program developer, and Mrs. Londeka Zuma as sports coordinator and also program developer. Mrs. Karen Kerr joined us as sports performance coordinator. Mrs. Christy Mayer joined as intern and mathematics teacher, and Mrs. Meg Meading as LO teacher. Ms. Nakubanga Shezi was also added to our LO teaching staff, and Ms. Spongile Mushengu as senior school secretary. Mrs. Kate Martins joined the marketing department, and as mentioned, Mrs. Lisa Ackerman joined us as head of IT academics. I'm also grateful to Ms. Hannah Elsner, who acted as locum counselor during the past few months. So now I wish to directly address the 56 matric girls of 2021. Again, this has been a most difficult and different year. It's been a true test of character, which has not always been a pleasant experience. Yet I guarantee that you are all better off for the experience. You can choose to either be bitter about missed opportunities or to use them as steps to climb above as you grow. I have 3 small but important pieces of advice for you as you prepare to leave the school. Firstly, become the person that you want to be. This takes planning, thought, and self-discipline. But without a plan, you will be directionless. Be intentional and consult those you trust. Only you can truly determine your destiny through your choice of actions, attitudes, and affiliations. As stated by professional sportsman Frank Jackson, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. It's up to you. Secondly, do what is right. based on your values and integrity as a person, rather than following the crowd. Those who only seek short-term pleasure will not be there for you when trouble comes. Be true to yourself, even if this makes you less popular. You will earn respect for this. As written by Dr. Zeus, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And thirdly, as already mentioned, turn trials and challenges into opportunities for growth and character development rather than irritations. Albert Einstein said, most people say that it is the intellect which makes a great scientist. They are wrong. It is character. If you choose this mindset, you will learn the true value of patience, investing in your future self, of appreciating others, of service, of speaking truth, and standing for something rather than against something. And this develops both character and hope, which is stated in Romans 5. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. So as you pursue your passions, skills, and plans, how about some of the following as possible future success stories or adverts relating to your lives? Hitting rock bottom, come to Rocky's sports and social pub and restaurant. Or try Megan's fashion range of dresses. Or vote in the elections for PPP, P-Wars Progressive Political Party. Itchy cheeks, try Shazari's new face cream to counter bristly encounters. And finally, can't get to Jeffreys Bay? Join Jody's Surfing and Lifesaving Club. To the head prefects, I wish to honor you, especially today. To Jody, you have been caring, diligent, and thoughtful as head girl, and helped to build up others around you. To Non-Zulu, you have been empathetic, kind, and wise in your role as deputy head girl. And Jenna, you have led with a unique combination of strength and graciousness as senior border prefect. I thank the three of you for leading the school with grace and ensuring that calm and reason have prevailed during the year despite the many unexpected surprises. I've only once singled out any individual girl for special mention during a speech and will do so again once more today. So I ask for your indulgence. To my beautiful Kate. Sorry. I'm so proud of you as I stand here as dad tonight. You are authentic, energetic, honest, principled, and have an incredible sense of fun and love for everyone around you. Thank you for always being yourself and teaching us as parents so many lessons. We know that you will flourish in Oxford next year, even though we are not ready to let you go. And so, Matrix of 2021, it's been a privilege and a pleasure to get to know you all. Despite your excitement as you are released into the world, it seems the time has gone by so fast. In fact, you boarders are looking particularly bombed out tonight. Maybe because of too much hard work. I wish to mention one more Dr. Zeus quote, as it is appropriate now. Always remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and twice as beautiful as you've ever imagined. I will end with a prayer for you, based on one written by American theologian Reinhold Niebuhr. Let us pray. Lord God, We grant the 2021 matrics the serenity to accept the things that they cannot change, the courage to change the things that they can, and the wisdom to know the difference. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Thank you. Mrs. Nelson is now going to lead some of the musical girls in a musical item, I believe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mrs. Nelson, and I'd like to just introduce the musical item for tonight. It is entitled Umurinzi, which means protector. It was composed by one of our very own grade 11 subject music girls, Bulelwa Komalo, No Mean Feat. The grade 11 subject music girls had a task this year to compose a piece inspired by their spirit animal, and we had a fun lesson doing many personality quizzes online to determine exactly what this animal should be. So this piece is inspired by a male silverback gorilla who has to protect his tribe from the invasion of another group of juveniles. Originally, it was written for 8 marimbas, djembe drum, and body percussion, but it has been specially rearranged for the grade 11 class by the very capable Mr. Joshua Bowden there at the back. The opening evokes a gentle awakening in the jungle with African elements, and excitement ensues as the gorilla defends his tribe. I will leave you to determine what the outcome of the battle is. I hope you enjoy the premiere of this work by someone who is surely said to be one of South Africa's up-and-coming leading young composers.
Mrs. Hane Mamabolo is the Managing Director of the South African Mint Company. Prior to joining SA Mint, she was the Chief Executive Officer of Tebe Unico, a leading automotive and industrial chemical manufacturer and 100% Black-owned subsidiary of Tebe Investment Corporation. She was one of the very first 3 Black female chemical engineering graduates from the University of Pretoria, and has over 20 years of experience across various industry sectors, some of which include mining, retail banking, energy development, finance, and manufacturing. Before joining Tebe, she managed 2 clean energy debt funds at the Industrial Development Corporation, with a combined fund value of 1 billion rand, and was involved in renewable energy projects and corporate finance transactions. Prior to this, Honey served as a senior energy consultant and director of operations for Energy Solutions Africa, focusing mainly on energy policy design, implementation, transaction advisory, and donor fund management. Her early career was spent in the retail banking sector as business process engineer, business analyst, and also a project manager. Adept at managing various facets of a business, from strategy and corporate governance to business development, finance, operations, and people management, Honey believes that agile leadership is critical in today's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous business environment. She serves as a non-executive director on the boards of the South African Banknote Company, Prestige Bullion, Durban Marine Tourism Park, and the Steel and Engineering Industries Federation of Southern Africa. She is passionate about education, people development, leadership, and corporate governance. In 2007, she took a sabbatical after suffering burnout and lived in the Liberian refugee camp in Ghana and founded Vision Awake Africa for Development, an education-based NPO with Liberian refugees. She still serves on the advisory board and is involved in their fundraising. As a mother of 2 young adults, Julio 20 and Malaika 17, Honey enjoys spending time with family and traveling. A self-confessed tea-volutionist and golf addict, when she's not so busy working, you will definitely find her with a cuppa or a putter in hand. Her mantras are, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and nothing is impossible. Even the word says, I'm possible. Honey believes that women have the ability to remain calm in the face of storms, are collaborative in nature, and are able to pull people together. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome Mrs. Honey Mamabolo.
Will I reach? Okay. Sure. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Chairperson of the board, Mrs. Khan, members of the board, head of school, Mr. Moore, and the teaching staff and management. St. John's girls and family. Last but not least, the matric class of 2021. Thank you for inviting me to Speech Day 2021 as guest and speaker. Before I address you, I would like to reflect on our family journey at St. John's for the past 5 years. At this point, my daughter Malaika is hoping I don't embarrass her. She knows the advice I would give about that. If it doesn't matter in 5 years, then it's small. And in a lifetime of eternity, it doesn't matter. Back in 2016, we were looking for schools in KZN as our son was in a school at Drakensberg Boys at the time. And I had just moved to Durban to run a chemical manufacturing company in the auto sector. So naturally, we started looking for schools in KZN. St. John's, however, was not a school we were familiar with. As is common with most people in the Reef, or Gauteng, as people call it. St. John's, we know, is a boys' school in Houghton. And I know Mr. Moore here has had experience with St. John's. And so we had applied for schools here. Malaika was going to open days, and on one of the days we were passing New England Road, and we saw St. John's School. I went and Googled St. John's. It was a girls' school, and I thought we should consider this. And it helps that I have a stubborn streak, as at the time both Malaika and Dad were not keen on venturing into another school. Be that as it may, I contacted the school, and the open day, I think, had passed, and Mrs. Sarah came and took us on a one-on-one tour of the school. That day, something moved in that my husband, who's an introvert, liked this idea of a small school. And in fact, at the time, we were thinking, why isn't there a boys' school that is similar? As we were worried about our son, who was leaving Drakensberg Boys, which only has 120 boys, to join a boys' school. We thought a big school would swallow him. And we were hoping, I wish St. John's could consider starting a boys' school with the same approach of keeping it small. Fast forward to a few weeks later, Malaika then came for a sleepover and wrote entrance exams. And then a month, I think ISASA, right? The school, the body, the independent schools body, they allow schools to accept children around the same time. So we were faced with a dilemma in that most of the schools had accepted Malaika. And I said she should make the decision. I think she was 13 at the time, in that she's the one who's going to spend the time, 5 years, at the school. And I said, if logic doesn't help, go with your gut feel. And the reason she chose St. John's is probably very simple to many, but I think it's quite significant. She said, I had only been to St. John's once. I think she had been to another school twice. And she said they remembered my name. And that's why she chose St. John's. In reflecting on this, is the school's tagline is small school with a big heart. So in the time that we've been here, I've seen how each and every girl in the school is not only seen, but heard. This allows them to grow wings that are required to soar like eagles. I was happy earlier when Nonzulu read Isaiah 40, verse 31. Because the ethos, the Christian ethos of the school is what will ground the girls in a world that is very secular and superficial. It is the lessons here that they've had, some of them more than 5 years, who have been here since prep school. Some have been here for 2 years. And in speaking to them, and one of the girls, I think, is a prefect this year, they talk about how in 2 years, their lives have changed. And I think at this point, it's to recognize the leadership of the school and the teachers in that the tools that you've given our girls, they would live with for a long time to come. A few things I've admired about the school is how the girls celebrate each other and how they celebrate one another's achievements, and there's such camaraderie amongst the girls. I was watching the Matrix yesterday, playing and being goofy, and I was thinking, shame, next year, all that will be a distant memory. You know, it's a great quality to possess, girls, and you must not lose it. The ability to recognize good in others, the ability to celebrate others. And in doing that, the recognition is we are all winners. You know, we all have our own path that God has predetermined. We are all in our own lanes. Those that are swimmers know very well how to stay in your own lane. And when you are in your own lane, you are actually the only one competing. So you will always win all the time. You will succeed all the time. And it's very important that you hold on to that and you literally slay in your own lane. You know, just as flowers understand that there's enough sunlight for them to coexist, so they don't compete with other flowers next to them. Each flower just blooms where it's planted. And what do we have? We have beautiful gardens because the flowers are not waiting for the other flower or trying to pull the other flower down, you know, competing for the sunlight. I have themed my talk this evening around the 4Gs. These 4Gs have served as a blueprint for both my personal and professional life. They are grit, gratitude, grace, and confidence. I'm hoping that in sharing my perspective on them, they will help shape your approach to life henceforth. What is grit? Grit is the unyielding courage and strength of character that we possess in the face of challenges. Certainly, the pandemic has separated those with grit and those who don't have grit. Those who are leaders, and leadership is a state of mind, it's not a title, and those who are not. Those who have resilience and those who are not. Those who can rise above the challenges that are thrown at them and can adapt to a new world order. And you've demonstrated the metrics of last year have set the bar. It was the first year that they've had to do online learning. I remember the school shared some videos about teachers at home, pets showing up to also teach on camera. And I think all that is making a situation that could be dire and really realizing that life does not stop because there is a pandemic. A pandemic is just a big speed hump of life, but you don't change direction because of that. Grit is the resolve that life's challenges do not define us and therefore can never defeat us. In the time that you have spent at St. John's, you've been equipped with values of courage and determination. So when the chips are down, remember that life favors the brave and have the determination to make it no matter what. These are the pillars that will hold you in good stead in the future. Gratitude. I think it's so easy to complain about life, and we all have different complaints. I was reading a book, The Gift, by D.S.G, who is a Holocaust survivor, and a lady was crying because the husband didn't buy a proper shade of pink Cadillac, right? But in the sessions, it turns out that the issue, the Cadillac is probably the last straw that broke the camel's back. There were bigger issues. We often complain that we don't have nice shoes when other people don't have feet. We complain that we don't have nice cars when other people don't even have a bicycle. We complain that our houses are small when others do not have shelter. And in South Africa, it's very easy to do that because it's a highly unequal society. You can actually be in different South Africas in one day and not recognize that you're still in the same country. So it's important that we recognize through gratitude that we are in a place of privilege. I started in 2017. For years, I used to make New Year's resolutions. And at the end of 2016, I suddenly stopped. And since then, it has made my life easy, I must say. All I ask for every year, I've stopped asking for the big bank balance. I've realized it's not going to come. I've stopped asking for my handicap to drop and realized that golf is my handicap, so I'm just going to enjoy it. And there's only 3 things I ask for, and I ask for these daily. So a new year is like a new day. I've asked for discernment so I could hear God's voice. I ask for revelation so God can reveal what is unseen to me and the plans he has for me. I've asked every day, and even on the 31st of each year, for wisdom to guide my daily life and the decisions, big and small. And through this way of thinking, I then started to be thankful for each day, just as simple as thank you, God, for the blessings. The 2 blessings today, my 2 eyes were opened. I started an Instagram devotional page called Grace, Gratitude, Faith, where I share my difficult journey as a woman after God's own heart. And since then, I live with the following mantras. So I've added to the other mantras that I have. I live every day with grace and gratitude. I walk by faith and not by sight. And therefore, I am confident. What does a life of gratitude look like, you may ask? Is it like a Stay Soft advert, which is bouncy and Cloud9-like? The answer is no. A life of gratitude does not mean I lead a problem and stress-free life. It does not mean I don't encounter challenges and setbacks. It is not ignoring the bad things that I experience every day, but it is consciously setting an intention to find good in the bad, to find beauty in the ugly, to find joy in trials, and to find hope in despair. It is a state of mind that I choose, and you can too, and the lens through which I've decided to see life, focusing and zooming only on the positives and being thankful to God for all he has done, what he is doing, and what he is still to do in my life. When you have an attitude of gratitude, you are upbeat. Often people say, you've got such high energy. Where do you get the capacity? I said, I run on tea and Jesus. You see? And you are enthusiastic about life in spite of all that is happening around you and what the obstacles that you face. Now, grace. Grace is that unmerited favor that God has given us, that he has given he's given us what we don't deserve. Freely, it's free to us because someone paid for it. Christ paid for it. And that's why it's a gift. And it's our choice to accept that gift. It is the greatest demonstration of God's love toward us, and we should look for opportunities to extend the same to others. The value of empathy that the school has is about putting yourself in the shoes of others. It's not sympathy, because sympathy is feeling sorry from a distance. Empathy is walking in those shoes and feeling and experiencing how painful or how uncomfortable they are, so that you can extend kindness towards others as an act of grace. Now, my favorite, Godfidence. It's that confidence that we have and trust and hope based on our faith that everything, both the positive shall come to pass because God says so, and the negative shall come to pass because God says so. I often say God is good. People say God is good all the time. God is good, and God is good at being God. And because he's good at being God, he's always good to us. And sometimes when chips are down, it's a good thing to remind ourselves that we are Godfident, and God has wired Godfidence within us. It is this Godfidence that allows us to lead self and others, to lead in challenging times. As I've indicated, I enjoy uncertainty. I enjoy leading in crisis. I believe no one should ever waste a good crisis. and it's how we grow. The last year has built character, has shown traits, leadership traits that before were underplayed, traits of humility, traits of empathy. And those are the leaders of the future. And the ability to lead from the future as it emerges. Because the current state may just be too dark. So you need to continue having an imagination, because otherwise you stagnate. And how do you have that? You have that because of Godfidence. Hebrews 11:1. It says we are sure of things not yet seen, because God's promises are always true. You must hold firm to the values of integrity and honesty in a world characterized by corruption and deceit. Be the only one that swims upstream. Lindsay swims in open water, so she knows that too well. Because people are doing wrong things because everyone is doing it. So be that one person who stands your ground. Coal is coal. Coal is black, even if you washed it with milk, it remains black. So it's very important to always, to never trade integrity as a value. And that is true leadership. You may not be popular, it's fine, but in time and history will stand on your side. I want to share, before I come to a conclusion, almost 28 years ago, I sat where you were sitting, anticipating my final year exams, and I was going to university. And in that time, I think university meant freedom away from parents. There is both positives and negatives. And freedom comes with responsibility. While it's a right, it comes with responsibility. Some of you have been here longer than 5 years, and most of you 5 years, and have gotten accustomed to certain ways of doing things, and you're probably the top of your class, and you're going into a new world. Currently, you're at the top. And just like mountains and valleys, you're going into the valley now, going into university. And it's the achievements that you would have had in the mountain that will carry you through the valley. I want to share a story of my first year at university. I had done very well in matric, so I got into chemical engineering. In those days, it didn't matter whether you got a distinction in LO or biology. They only took English, maths, and physics to make the points. So I got into engineering and chemistry 101. It's everyone who's studying the sciences. I think it's around 480 students. Now, I had done extremely well in my physics. It wasn't for the physics, it's the chemistry that carried the physics mark. And my first test that determined whether I stay in chemical engineering or not, were 2 tests to determine if you didn't make it by June, you must change course. The first test came and the results were shocking. Well, certainly to me, I'd never gotten such a result. I was always top of class. My result was a nice round 0. 0. Yes, let that sink in. 0. 0. Now, I don't remember getting a 0, even when I didn't work, but I got 0. And I looked around and I was talking to other students. There were 60 other zeros. So there was safety in numbers. I didn't feel as bad as I should have. But what I did next differentiated me from the other students. A lot of students that had come as A students, they were in the paper, struggled with the notion of getting 0 at university. Some quit, some changed course. I went, there was a young lady who's now a medical doctor, a specialist, Ingrid Jones. Ingrid had gotten 88%. Now it's a class of 480. I don't know who Ingrid Jones is. I went to the lecturer to say, Miss, can you please show me Ingrid Jones? Because I'd like Ingrid Jones to give me lessons, chemistry lessons. I'm sharing this story because it's a story of humility. So the following week, they showed me Ingrid, and I assumed I was staying in Res, so I assumed she's also staying in Res. I said, Ingrid, can you please come give me extra lessons? I'm staying in, I think at the time, Asterhof. I wasn't staying in Erika at the time. And Ingrid said, I said, I'll pay you. I didn't even have money, but I offered to pay her. So I said, you can teach me chemistry and I'll pay you. And Ingrid used to come. She said, no, I stay in Valhalla, but I have a car, so I'll come. Ingrid used to come and teach me. And Ingrid treated me like the biggest chemistry idiot ever. She was very patronizing, sometimes very condescending, but because I wanted to get a mark like Ingrid, I took the beatings. The next test, I think I got 78. And then there was one more for those of us that didn't make the first one, and I got 88. So Ingrid is the reason today I can stand here and say I'm the first Black female chemical engineer from DAX. So girls, when things are difficult, find your Ingrid. Wherever you are. Find your Ingrid and be humble enough to find your Ingrid, you know, and because that would have, I don't know where I would be had I not done that. Another lesson I want to share, and it comes from the leadership and determination values that the school has encouraged. So the university had a rule that you can't move residents in the middle of the year. And I was in one race where there were no engineering students, so I'd struggle alone while my friends were getting together and studying. And I found out there was a room in Erika in the middle of the year. Naturally, I went to the house father, at the time there was a house father at Erika, and said, I understand there's a room here. I'd like to move. And then he took out the rule book. And he went to that section that says during the year, students are not supposed to move. I didn't leave it there. I went to the head of engineering, who's not even in race. She's looking after academics in engineering, to plead my case that I'm sitting in another race. Everyone I know who's doing engineering is in another race, and there is a room. And the rules say I can't move. He picked up the phone, phoned I was in my first year, phoned the dean of students, Prof. van der Walt at the time. The following day, I sat with Prof. van der Walt and explained my case again about this room that is unavailable, and I need to move that week. Prof. van der Walt then listened to my case, talked to the housemaster, and that week I moved, right? I'm sharing this not because rules don't matter. I'm sharing this to say if you have enough determination, if you show up enough, the lecturers know you, the admin staff know you by first name. Usually, and a lot of you will experience where they say there's a waiting list at university. I said to my young cousin who went to university about 4 years ago, I said, go to admin every day, act like you don't hear them when they say there's no room. And I said, there's gonna come a point where they call you by name because you're coming every week. And when there's a room available, you're going to be the first person they think of because you are top of mind. So the university and the world that you're going to, whether university or you're going to work or a gap year, is a big world. Don't let it swallow you. Leverage these values. Leverage the networks that you've built with the girls. Because sometimes you may think you're the only one who's going through something, but a friend in another place may be going through the same thing. I would like to conclude with my favorite prayer. It is the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. In my mind, if we all adopted this prayer, the world would be a much better place. Lord, make me a channel of your peace. Where there's a hatred, let me sow love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. And where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console others, to be understood as to be more understanding of others, to be loved as to love, to give as to receive, for it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. I want to thank you all for blessing me with your time and attention. I pray Ephesians 3:20 upon all of you, and especially the matrix, that the Lord, in his goodness, may bless you exceedingly and abundantly beyond what you can think or imagine. All the best for the next week. Work hard, and remember, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And impossible does not even say impossible. It says, I am possible. Do your best, and God will handle the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Honey. The face of education has changed radically over the last 18 months, with technology becoming an integral tool for the staff and for the girls. We had an unprecedented start to 2021, where we started the academic year with 2 weeks of online teaching. We ended term 2 with online teaching, and we started term 3 with online teaching. If that wasn't enough, we had an outbreak of COVID-19 amongst the matrics just before trials, and we had to delay trials by a week. By that time, the little hair that I had was now turning not gray, but white. Despite this, the class of 2021 has acquitted themselves well, achieving an average mark of just under 70%, which bodes well for finals. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to join me as we applaud this year's matrics for rolling with the punches, an acknowledgement of their tenacity, commitment, and hard work. I call upon Hani Mamabola now to join Mrs. Storm in presenting the trophies. Thank you. Join Mrs. Storm on that side. We start with the presentation of merit certificates. For a girl to achieve a merit certificate, she has to achieve an aggregate of over 75%. I will call the girls up in groups. Olivia Beddingham, Rachel Bromley, Jade Evans, Jenna Fivey, and Jodie Jeffries. Cameron Jordan, Chloe Launder, Nonzulu Malinga, Malaika Mamabolo, Stephanie Meyer. Emma Mandel, Dia Paparam, Anissa Rawat, and Leah Sachs. We now move on to the subject prizes. The PricewaterhouseCoopers Trophy for accounting goes to Jodie Jeffries. Advanced Program English to Malaika Mamabolo. Advanced Program Mathematics to Leah Sachs. The Afrikaans Prize goes to Cameron Jordan. Business Studies goes to Nonzulu Malinga. The Consumer Studies Theory Award goes to Danielle Rocky. Each year, the Consumer Studies Matric girls complete a practical assessment task. This task involves market research, product development, a marketing campaign, and the production of suitable products according to the given scenario. This year, the girls had to create suitable products for an upmarket employee appreciation box that also had to include a cultural twist. The award this year is shared between two very deserving winners. Both girls have worked with incredible attention to detail in their practical tasks. They are confident and skilled food producers and gave their best at all times in the completion of the task. We commend them for their creativity, diligence, and enthusiasm, and congratulate Michaela Edwards and Jessica Rashar on their success. The Dramatic Arts Theory Award goes to Malaika Mamabolo. The Dramatic Arts Practical Prize goes to a young woman who has consistently produced practical work of an exceptionally high standard, not only in grade 12, but ever since she chose to do dramatic arts as a subject in grade 10. She has excelled in both the theoretical and the practical components of the subject and is fully committed to dramatic arts as a subject. She consistently goes above and beyond in her preparations for the practical component of the subject. In 2017, She was a standout member of the Connaught Interhouse Slam Poetry. In 2019, she was a cast member of the collaboration between Hilton College and St. John's in the musical West Side Story, and in Michael House's and St. John's Little Shop of Horrors. This year, she achieved one of the highest marks for the final dramatic arts practical examination held in September with her incredible performance in her monologue. She is a thoughtful and insightful performer who has the natural ability to understand and interpret her characters with a maturity that is beyond her years. The Dramatic Arts Practical Prize goes to Malaika Mamabolo. And before she goes too far, the English award goes to Malaika. The French prize goes to Anissa Rawat. The Geography Award goes to Jessica Rachel. The German prize goes to Stephanie Meyer. The History Prize to Leah Sachs. The isiZulu Prize is shared between Nonzulu Malinga and Senako Konke Nkunu. The Life Orientation Award goes to Cameron Jordan. The Rosalie Franklin Memorial Cup for Life Sciences is shared between Jenna Fivey and Anissa Rawat. The Mathematical Literacy Prize goes to Madison Robenheimer. The Price Waterhouse Cooper Trophy for Mathematics is shared between Jenna Fivey and Leah Sachs. The Music Theory Prize goes to Malaika Mamabolo. The recipient of the next award is a talented performer with unprecedented knowledge and performance expertise for her age in her chosen instrument. With multiple performances on the professional as well as the school stage, she continues to inspire us with her confidence, adaptability, and clear enjoyment of what she's doing. Her innate musical ability has provided a foundation from which she has been able to achieve rapid proficiency in voice, piano, and ukulele. Looking back at her practical examinations over the past 5 years, it is evident that she consistently achieved excellent results in this component of the subject. With her unique flair and stage presence, she certainly has a lifetime of music making and performance ahead of her to look forward to. The Practical Music Prize goes to, drum roll please, Kate Moore. The Physical Science Prize goes to Jodie Jeffries. The Visual Arts Theory Prize goes to Jade Evans. The recipient of the Visual Arts Practical Prize has over the last 3 years worked with great consistency in all areas of the subject. She has demonstrated a profound skill in her choice of media and consequently developed work that is highly individual, innovative, and unique. This has ensured that she's able to communicate ideas and feelings with richness and complexity. Her determination to only give of her best and never to compromise on this makes Courtney Micklejohn a deserving recipient of the Visual Arts Practical Prize. We now award long attendance certificates to girls who have been at St. John's since grade R or grade 1, and I'll call these up in groups again. Those that have been with us since grade R: Rachel Dixon, Lindsay Foss, Paige Jennings, Casey Joubert, Cameron Jordan. Paige Mayer, Megan Pratt, Abby Reynolds, and Madison Walton. Those that have been with us since grade 1: Jenna Fivey, Anissa Rowett, Abigail Rickett, and Catherine Rickett. We now move on to service awards. Service to SCA. This year's recipient has a gentle spirit and has encouraged girls in their own spiritual growth. Under the extremely difficult conditions with lockdowns, she has managed to arrange sacred spaces for the girls in the boarding establishment. We thank Mataleo Jonathan for his service to SCA. The Christian Service Award presented by the Old Girls, the recipients of this, the recipient's enthusiasm for chapel services and prayer has made her a delight to work with. She has high regard for God's word and for worship in the chapel. We thank her for her enthusiasm. The award goes to Rachel Bromley. The following 2 prizes are awarded to a determined young lady. She displays a level of showmanship that is beyond her years and has devoted herself to developing her talents as a singer during her career here at St. John's. She has been part of the senior school choir since 2017 and has often been selected to fulfill solo roles with this group at prestigious events. She has been an integral member of the gospel choir and has been responsible for selecting and arranging repertoire for this group. She joined the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands Youth Choir in 2018 and toured with them to Wales in 2019. In a well-deserved but very rare occurrence, she was selected as the choir leader for all 3 groups simultaneously this year. She has achieved outstanding results at regional Eisteddfods and for her solo performances, and has been the top performer at many St. John's events. She's been a key member of many musical productions, including West Side Story with Hilton College and Little Shop of Horrors with Michael House in 2019. In addition to performing as a vocalist, she has served the Performance Marimba Band for the past 4 years. This young lady has been invaluable in her role as the Board of Practice and Performance Coordinator and has executed her duties beyond those expected for this position. The Head Chorister Award, as well as the Francine Barker Shield for Service to Music, are presented to Amashle Hadebe. According to Albert Einstein, The only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library. The matric girl most familiar with our beautiful new library's location has served it with distinction this year. She has been available daily, somehow finding time to prepare for biology pop quizzes between helping new library staff find their feet, training assistants, and keeping an eye on displays and books. Thank you, dear Paparam. The service to the Representative Council of Learners goes to Malaika Mamabolo. The Geertlif Cup. The recipient of this award has gone beyond expectation in carrying out her duties responsibly and with genuine care and concern for the boarders. In her quiet, caring way, she has always been a pillar of support to her peers and the younger girls in the boarding establishment. Her sympathetic ear, practical advice, and encouragement have enabled her to develop a bond of mutual respect with all the girls in her charge. This young lady has effectively balanced her time between her school commitments and her boarding duties and serves others with a willing heart. She has interacted with boarding staff in the same respectful and caring way and was always willing to go the extra mile to assist with the duties. Her selfless service to the boarding establishment is greatly appreciated. The award goes to Cameron Jordan. The Deputy Head Girl Award goes to Nonzulu Malinga. The Senior Border Prefects Award to Jenna Fivey. The Head Girls Award to Jodie Jeffries. We now have a few awards that are not on your program because we were able to have them presenting now. The first team hockey player of the year goes to Jenna Fivey, sorry. The first team most improved player to Jessica Rochard. And the first team netball player of the year to Sanaka Konke Ntunu. The Greyling Cup for Sportsmanship. The recipient of this award has represented the school teams in hockey, indoor hockey, swimming, water polo, soccer, and basketball. She has ably led by example in her role as vice captain of the first team water polo. Her skill, commitment, willingness to learn, and determination to succeed have ensured that she has been an asset to all the teams that she has represented. She shows genuine enjoyment and enthusiasm in her participation, while her cheerful smile, competitiveness, and reliability as a team player have earned her the respect of her teammates and coaches. Whether in the pool or on the field, she has the maturity to laugh at her mistakes, but she never loses her composure and always continues to motivate those around her in a positive, affirming way. Her exemplary conduct, respect for her opponents, and her graciousness in winning or losing makes her a worthy recipient of the Greyling Cup for Sportsmanship. The award goes to Chloe Launder. The Goodman Cup for all-round sporting achievement and the Sportswoman of the Year. This talented sportswoman has represented the school in 7 first-team sports, namely hockey, swimming, indoor hockey, basketball, soccer, cross-country, and water polo. She has represented KwaZulu-Natal at national events in 3 of these disciplines. She has been the top league cross-country athlete in her age group for her entire school career, and as a junior athlete represented KwaZulu-Natal at the National Cross Country Championships. Her passion and greatest achievements are in hockey, where she has been selected to represent her province annually. At the under-16 level, she was selected for the national hockey squad and was included in the national under-17 high performance squad. She has also represented KwaZulu-Natal Indian ladies at the indoor hockey national tournament, where she was an integral part of the successful team. She has an excellent work ethic for training and is committed and self-disciplined. She has been an integral part of every St. John's team that she has represented. Her natural athletic ability, sportsmanship, dedication to training, determination to win, and the ability to push herself to always give of her best sets her apart. We present the Goodman Cup for Best All-Rounder and the Sportswoman of the Year trophy to Jenna Fivey. The Joanne Dalton Beatty Memorial Trophy for Creativity. The courage and even the inclination to be creative often wanes as we get older, but maintaining childlike creativity and curiosity is an admirable aspiration. The recipient of this trophy has had some moments of self-doubt this year and has at times struggled with motivation and enthusiasm. This has not, however, prevented her from creating. Her writing is exceptional, her style playful, crisp, and authentic, without pretension. Her flair and originality are also evident in her music compositions. Maya Angelou says, "You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have." May this be true for you, Malaika Mamabolo. The Pinnie Mappa Memorial Trophy for Altruism. The recipient of this award is described by her peers as someone who is always helpful and caring and has such a kind heart. She's always willing to lend a hand, no matter who you are. She does it with compassion and with empathy and is never one to complain about anything. She wants to make everyone else's life easier and better, even if this means sacrificing herself. We congratulate Courtney Micklejohn on being awarded the Pinnie Mappa Memorial Trophy. The recipient of the Natalie Miller Memorial Award is a young woman who is humble, yet very talented musician and performer. But aside from being talented in those areas of interest, she is always willing to assist anyone who may need help or might be interested in learning a new skill. She is always willing to throw herself into the deep end when it comes to new experiences. She's not afraid to try her hand at anything. As a musician, she is always ready to perform when called on, spending hours rehearsing with various groups as the drummer, all for the love of creating music with her peers. Last year, she offered to teach staff member Mrs. Sarah Zondi to play the ukulele and could often be seen in the music department during her lunch hour, waiting for her enthusiastic pupil. Her pioneering spirit has seen her launch a career in composition, and her growth and experience only fed her desire to mentor others. As a performer, she has participated in funk in 2019 and was a member of the St. John's Dance Company that performed in the show Sasha Fierce. She also participated in the variation of funk called Digifunk in 2021. This young woman definitely follows her heart and marches to the beat of her own drum, qualities that will stand in good stead after leaving school. The Natalie Miller Memorial Award goes to Kate Moore. The Debbie Shreve Trophy for Fellowship is determined by the matric vote. The criteria require that a recipient is a person who gets on well with their peers and staff, has a sense of humor and a happy, caring nature, who makes time for others, and who lives according to a personal code. The award this year goes to Courtney Micklejohn. The recipient of the Principal Award is a young lady of incredible integrity who has set excellent standards for herself in her conduct and performance in many areas of school life, yet still retains a strong sense of humility and dignity. She conducts herself in a gentle, sincere manner and is a caring, highly intelligent young lady with a strong faith. She is thoughtful and wise, often putting the needs of others above her own, and is an exemplary role model to the younger girls. Despite going through devastating personal loss, she has shown courage and strength in overcoming this and remained true to herself at all times. She epitomizes the values of St. John's DSG in every way. The worthy recipient of the Principal Award is Cameron Jordan. The St. John's Cup. This year's recipient is a self-contained, principled, and dignified as she leads with gentleness and grace. She has demonstrated sensitivity and empathy in all that she does and has used her platform to quietly and confidently lead by example. Alongside her matric leadership team, she has shown an interest in issues of social justice and inclusion. In her unassuming manner, despite it having been a challenging year, she has taken up the mission of helping to create a school where everybody feels as though they belong. We are proud to present the St. John's Cup to Jodie Jeffries. To describe someone as gentle, calm, kind, mature, and thoughtful acknowledges their worthiness. Add to these qualities cheerfulness, creativity, warmth, appreciation, and insight, and you have a gem. This year's recipient of the Gem Award is both a dreamer and a doer. She gets on with things. She cares about people. She values the earth, sea, and sky. She is much admired for integrity and a sense of self beyond her years. The winner of the Gem Award, in recognition of her unfailing commitment, her loyalty, and her service to the school, is Courtney Micklejohn. The Peter Breitenbach Award, proxime assessed to ducks, with an average of 86.83%, goes to Cameron Jordan. And then lastly, the Abbott Cup for ducks, with an average of 87%, goes to Jodie Jeffries. Thank you, Mrs. Mamabola. I now call upon Jodie Jeffries to give her vote of thanks and her valedictory address.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to start by saying thank you very much to Mrs. Mamabolo for coming all this way to speak to us. Thoroughly enjoyed your speech. And I'm sure many of the girls will be looking for their Ingrids when we get to university. But thank you for giving up your time. I can really see where Malaka gets her great qualities and speaking skills from. Thank you. Just something small. Whoops. We'll see how far I get without tears. Greetings to our esteemed guest speaker, Mrs. Mama Bolo, to Mrs. Khan and members of the board, to Mr. Moore and Mrs. Wiesinger, to the staff, our parents, students, but most importantly, to the matric class of 2021. We never really thought this day would come. We hoped for its quick delivery, crossing the days off our calendar. But now that it's here, I'm sorry it is, because it means leaving friends who inspire me and teachers who have been my mentors, people who shaped my life forever. Every day I walk through the school with a feeling that I'm cared for, experiencing a huge sense of community. When we leave the school today, every day for a long time, something will feel missing in our lives. However, we will also be leaving here with more knowledge, more wisdom, and more family than when we started. I know this year will be all we hoped. Sorry. I know this year we all hoped would be leaving COVID-19 in the past, but unfortunately this was not the case. However, that didn't stop us. I am so proud of how each and every one of you handled this year with such resilience, courage, and enthusiasm. You are such a strong-willed and determined group of girls, as we discovered in the weeks leading up to matric dance. But of course, we would never have reached our full potential to this day without our enormous support system, within and outside of the school. I know I speak for everyone here today when I say we are so grateful for the quality of teaching and teachers within the school. Your continued work in helping us achieve our goals and be the best we can doesn't go unnoticed. It's quite rare to find people whose only wish is to see you succeed. The relationship between students and teachers in the school is one of a kind, as the teachers are willing to do all they can to help in both educational and real-life needs of their girls. And although it may be hard to believe, we matric students have the utmost respect for you and the work you do. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. Mr. Moore, Mr. Tyson, Ms. Schwegman, and Mrs. Kirsten, thank you for your continuous guidance and for being a voice of reason and motivation throughout the years. To our parents and guardians, the ones who taught us what was right or wrong, how to ride a bike or how to tie our shoelaces, but most importantly, the ones who always showered us with love, not because they had to, but because they wanted to and meant it. To my family, the most kind, loving, halfway, and generous people I know. Sorry. Pillars of strength in life without whom I could not stand. Mom and Dad, I'm so proud to be your daughter. You are my ultimate inspiration, and have never failed to remind me that I'm capable of anything I put my mind to, and I can be whomever I strive to be. I don't know if you've ever realized this, but the person I most wanted to be was the two of you. You have guided me through these incredible 18 years, and for that, I cannot thank you enough. But most importantly, to the class of 2021. Today, we will officially say farewell to our school career. We have come so far together. Let us not forget the life lessons that we've learned. We have created so many friendships and memories that I know will last a lifetime. St. John's has laid a strong foundation for us, and it's up to us to decide as to how we want to rebuild our future. Let us go out into the big world with our heads held high. Always remember, in life, the things that go wrong are often the very things that lead to other things going right. As we look around the room, all the people who have helped us to become who we are today, and to all the people we feel as though we are saying goodbye to, I assure you we will carry a piece of each other into every single thing we do, to remind us of who we are and how we got here, and how great we're going to be. As outgoing head girl of 2021, I feel privileged that I was chosen as the head of St. John's, and I'll never forget the trust that was bestowed upon me, and the fulfilling of my duties was done with great commitment and dedication. This would not have been possible without my partners in crime, Nanzilu and Jeddah. You truly are the most amazing friends. And throughout this year, you have made such, thank you. You have made such a great impact in my life. Thank you for being you. You both encouraged me whenever I was at my lowest to break boundaries and to always strive for excellence. You are so special. Never forget that. To the class of 2022, I wish you all the best of luck for the upcoming year. I know that you will all be great leaders of the school because each and every one of you has the potential. May you have a fantastic year filled with success, memories, and laughter. Well, they definitely weren't kidding when they said our high school career would go by so quickly. I hope everyone in this room cherished these unforgettable moments we have shared, because no matter how much we may want to turn back the time, we will never be able to return to this phase in life. Like our brief 5 years at St. John's, what makes life so valuable is that it doesn't last forever. So don't waste the precious time you've been given living someone else's life. Go out there and make yours count. Endings are inevitable. Time continues to tick away, and life continues to pass. Today is one of those inevitable days for us all. Today we say our goodbyes to teachers, students, St. John's, and in some ways, part of ourselves. But as one of our childhood heroes, Winnie the Pooh, once said, how lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so special. Thank you.
That brings us to the end of the proceedings for this evening, and it's been a great joy to have the parents with us this evening. If I can please ask you to stand for the singing of the national anthem and the school song, and if you can remain standing as the stage party leaves and the matrics follow after. Thank you.
St. John's the roll is ringing clear and clearer, to labor and to pray with all our might, still seeking noblest truth and gazing upwards to mountain eagles face towards the light. Thank